was that?
Perhaps it was the amount.
Shh.
They've gone.
Oh. He heard us.
Who?
Walter.
Walter. What if it was? For all he knows, you were taking a nap.
With my doors locked.
Kitty, dear, you need a drink. Even if it was, my impression is he'll do nothing.
That's flattering.
He knows as well as anyone there's nothing to be gained by making a scandal.
Has it occurred to you that my husband is in love with me? I have a feeling you're about to say something awful.
It's just that women are often under the impression that men are much more in love with them than they really are.
I wouldn't delude myself for a second that you were in love with me.
Now, there you're wrong. Do you like your present?
It's good enough. Charlie.
Hmm?
Do I make you as happy as you make me?
Of course you do, darling.
Hassan,
Yes?
who brought this package round?
Dr. Fang,
When?
where are you sleeping?
Charlie Townsend, please.
Charles Townsend.
I need to see you.
Kitty, I can't possibly see you. I've got a meeting in an hour at the club. What is it?
I have to go. What are you doing home?
I'm sorry, there's something I need to speak with you about.
Actually, I was just about to take my bath.
I'm afraid it's rather important, darling. Can't wait. Sit down. Do you know a place called Meitan Fu?
No.
Well, it was in the papers the other day. It's a small town on a tributary of the Yangtze River, in the interior. They've had an outbreak of cholera there. It's the worst epidemic anyone's seen in a long time. The Chinese medical officer has died. There's a convent of French nuns, and they're trying to run the hospital. They're doing the best that they can, but people are dropping like flies. I have volunteered to go and to take charge.
Why?
Because they need a doctor.
But you're not a doctor, you're a bacteriologist.
I'm an MD. The fact that I'm foremost a scientist is actually all to the good in this case.
Oh. Won't it be awfully dangerous?
I suppose it might, yes. Now, Meitan Fu is a 10-day journey. You can go by rail for the first part of it, but after that it's carriage, and then we'll have to take a sedan chair.
Who's we?
Why, you and I, of course.
You're not expecting me to come too.
I hoped that if I was going, you would want to go.
Surely it's no place for a woman. It would be madness for me to go. Why should I?
To cheer and comfort me?
No. No, I won't go. In fact, it's monstrous of you to even ask me.
Fine. Then I shall file my petition for divorce tomorrow. I'm afraid that you have thought me a bigger fool than I am.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't you? I am divorcing you for adultery. I'm naming Charles Townsend as your lover.
I'm sorry, Walter. I realize this is very unpleasant, but please let's not make this uglier than it needs to be.
By all means. What is it that you propose that we should do?
You could let me divorce you quietly.
You divorce me? On what grounds, may I ask?
That's what a gentleman would do.
Can you give me one reason I should put myself to the smallest inconvenience on your account?
Please, Walter, don't be so hateful. We didn't mean to hurt anyone, but Charlie and I have fallen in love. He wants to marry me.
Really? I knew that you weren't the cleverest girl in the world, but I didn't know that you were actually a fool.
Yes. Well, if it makes you feel better to hurt me, then go ahead. You might as well get used to it. We love each other. And we're sick to death of the secrecy and compromise and all the rest of it.
And now you curse the day that you ever met me.
Stop mocking me.
There's no other response for such pathetic behavior. It's comic. When I think about how hard I've tried to make you happy. Debasing myself, acting as though I was as thrilled as you by the latest gossip and as vulgar and as ignorant of the world as you are. If you interrupt me again, I'll strangle you. Sit down. I knew when I married you that you were selfish and spoiled. But I loved you. I knew that you married me only to get as far away from your mother as possible. And I hoped that one day there'd be something more. I was wrong. You don't have it in you.
If a man hasn't what's necessary to make a woman love him, then it's his fault, not hers.
Either way, tomorrow morning we either leave for Meitan Fu, or I shall file my petition.
Walter, you can't be serious about taking me into the middle of a cholera epidemic.
Do you think that I'm not?
My God. That's what you want, isn't it? Do you really think Charlie will let you do this?
I don't think Charlie has very much to say about it.
Everything you said is true. Everything. I married you even though I didn't love you. But you knew that. Aren't you as much to blame for what's happened as I?
All right. Here's what I'll do.
Gentlemen, we all have assets to protect here. Unfortunately, Mr. Nagata's actions have created a rather urgent situation.
It was an unfortunate but unavoidable incident.
Your foreman shot a worker.
He was an agitator.
He was a Chinese. You may have suppressed a very small strike, but in doing so, you have started a very large demonstration.
I need to use your pen, please.
There you are.
Thank you.
What about support from Chiang Kai-shek? Where does he stand on this?
He's a nationalist. He will stand on the side of the Chinese. That's why they call themselves nationalists.
Excuse me. Mr. Townsend.
I think you underestimated the situation.
I have 3 of my mills shut down because of walkouts. There is talk about boycott.
So what do you propose? A handful of municipal soldiers is hardly a show of force.
If you'll excuse me. Mrs. Fane, what a pleasant surprise. You've rescued me from a pack of wild boars.
I wouldn't have come if it wasn't necessary.
Are you all right?
I needed to see you. I'm
Pity.
sorry.
This is not the most opportune time for me to...
Charlie. He knows.
Right. After you, Mrs. Vane.
Hello, Charlie.
Hello, George.
Hello, Townsend.
Pardon?
He wants a divorce.
You didn't commit yourself, did you? Acknowledge anything?
No,
Are you sure?
quite sure.
This is a bloody scrape we're in.
He says he has proof.
We deny it. They can't prove anything. Besides, it wouldn't do Walter any good to create a scandal.
But there isn't going to be a scandal. Walter's agreed to let me divorce him quietly.
Well, that's not so terrible, is it?
Will you hold me?
Of course I will.
Charlie. His offer comes with a condition.
I'm not a rich man.
He doesn't want your money. He's agreed to let me divorce him if Dorothy will agree to divorce you. And if
What?
you'll promise to marry me.
You know, darling, whatever happens, we must try to keep Dorothy out of it.
What do you mean?
We can't only think of ourselves. I know, Dorothy, nothing in the world would induce her to divorce me.
You don't want to divorce her.
It's not just a question of my marriage.
Then what is
Do
it?
you have any idea of the importance of my station here? If I were... Why are you laughing?
I don't think Walter intended for 1 minute to divorce me. He knew you'd let me down.
Try to understand.
I understand, all right.
Kitty. Kitty, please, we'll work this out, I promise.
I'm coming with you.
Good. I thought you might.
I suppose I needn't take more than a few summer things and a shroud.
I've told Hassan what you'll need. She's packing already.